My dearest Travelista, welcome to the podcast. I am your host, Tyra Andre, and we have our favorite podcaster, Miss Angela Mashuli. How are you, Angela?
I'm good, Tyra. How are you?
I am amazing. It's always good to have you on our podcast. Are you ready to talk about these cruise line updates and Disney updates?
Those are two of my favorite topics. So yes.
Let's jump into it. So we were talking about these new Norwegian updates. What's the latest on Norwegian?
Yeah, I mean, I got an email this or a week ago saying effective September 3rd, unvaccinated guests are welcome with proof of negative test.
So this is progress. This is a lot of progress because I know
Yeah.
that most, like almost all cruise lines, they're requiring you to be vaccinated, and that's like the number one. That's the number one question that my clients are asking me: do I have to be vaccinated? For the ones that are unvaccinated, do I have to be vaccinated? And I'm like, yeah, pretty much. So we'll talk soon. When
Mhm.
it changes. So this is progress. What do you think?
Yeah, it is progress. And, if you are vaccinated on Norwegian after September 3rd, you also don't have to test. So, children 11 and younger have no testing or vaccine requirements. So, not only is it good news for unvaccinated guests, but you have fewer hoops to jump through if you just want to go on a cruise. So, I think it's great. I mean,
I
you
think it's
just have
good.
to still keep in mind, if you do get COVID, you're taking that risk, and just to make sure you plan time after your trip if you happen to not feel well or something like that,
Yes.
just do that. But I mean, it's great news. Great news for us, great news for just getting back to normal. It's
I
hard to
think it's
believe 3 years later.
it's been a very very long time. 3 years is a long time, but I'm really glad to see that it's getting back to normal. But I have to be honest, I don't. I mean, just because you're vaccinated does not mean that you can't get COVID. So I mean, I
No.
love the fact that unvaccinated travelers can come and get tested, but I still think that everybody needs to be tested because
Mhm.
vaccinated people can get COVID as well and spread it as well. But
Sure.
I'm happy that everything is moving back forward. But I can't
Mhm.
I can't say that. I mean, it's not my cruise line. We're just representatives of them, travel agents of
Right.
them. But that's hey, what can we do about that? So, for all of our listeners that are listening, if you're ready to go cruise and listen, everything is starting to open back up. Norwegian Cruise Line is now not required. Well, starting in September, they're not
Mhm.
requiring everyone to be vaccinated. If you're not
Mhm.
vaccinated and you want to travel, guess what? All you need
Yeah.
is a COVID test to go on Norwegian. So I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are very, very happy about that. So this is progress.
Mhm.
This is
Mhm.
progress. So they're the first cruise
Definitely.
line. So they're piloting
They
this.
are.
Let's
They
see.
are. And, Royal Caribbean also came out this week talking about very limited embarkation ports where you don't have to have a vaccine to sail out of.
Hmm.
It's very limited. So I think they're taking a more measured approach than Norwegian. But I mean, this just comes into play why it's so important to have somebody like us to help you with your travel, because things are still consistently changing.
Yes.
And we can help you. If you aren't vaccinated, we can help you identify some of the ports that you can sail out of and places that you can go. You may not be able to get off of a ship if you're not vaccinated, if you're
Hmm.
going to a country that requires vaccination. So even though you can get on a ship, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can fully sail as you once did, but it's a step in the right direction.
Yes, yes, it is. And I just came from off of a cruise with Carnival, and previous
Mhm.
to that, at some ports you actually needed your vaccination card to get off of in those ports.
Yeah.
And I saw that some of that stuff is easing up as well. So this is total progress.
Right.
This is really, really good for
Mhm.
clients as well as the industry. So I cannot wait to, get back to normal.
Oh,
Travel
yeah.
is definitely picking up. Everywhere
Mhm.
I've been this year, it's been completely jam-packed. So travel is definitely picking up. I think that it's kind of our, it's our new normal as far as, taking COVID precautions and stuff like that. It's our new normal. So, everybody should take
Mhm.
their normal precautions as usual. Let's talk about Disney. I know Disney is your thing. I love Disney. Listen, but you
Disney,
are the complete GOAT when it comes to
Disney.
Disney. Tell us about Disney. What's going on with Disney? Are there any updates for
Well,
Disney?
yes, there's tons of updates.
Yes.
Number one update is Halloween parties begin tonight at Walt Disney World. So if you
Yes.
love Halloween like I did, get excited. I love Halloween. It's my favorite special event at Disney. So the Disneyland parties don't start till September, but here we start a little bit early. And so if you're not going to go to a party, you have to start keeping in mind that if you're not going to go to the party, it's going to limit your time at the park because it starts early. I think 6 o'clock they close the parks to
Oh,
people who
yes.
are not going to the party. So keep that in mind with your planning. And then the other big piece of information out of Walt Disney World recently is they have a new Magic Band that interacts with the fireworks at Magic Kingdom and
What?
Epcot, and they have an interactive experience with all of the 50th statues. And there is over at Galaxy's Edge, there is an interactive bounty hunter activity. So, and I think we're only going to see more and more of those interactive experiences coming out of the new Magic Band.
I love
It's
that.
not, I know it's not a necessary purchase. So if you have an old Magic Band, you can still use it as you
Okay.
always have. You don't have to purchase a new one, but it's so cool if you do.
I was gonna ask
So,
that.
right? So, over at Disneyland, this is the last month for the Main Street Electrical Parade, which I was in Disneyland this summer. So cool. We were out there for a week at Universal Hollywood and then spent a few days at Disneyland. And so the Main Street Electrical Parade, which it's the 50th anniversary of, and their Disneyland Forever fireworks are going away at the end of the month
Wait a
because they're,
minute. Wait. The fireworks are going away?
yeah, because Halloween is coming. So they're coming
What?
out with, yeah, so September 1st, all of the Halloween starts at Disneyland. So they have Halloween fireworks, Halloween everything. They do a Haunted
Okay.
Mansion overlay.
Okay.
They do the Oogie Boogie Bash over at California Adventure. So that is what's happening at Disneyland.
Okay. Well, I got a question. Can you just purchase that part of just the Halloween bash? Do you have to
Yes.
purchase the Disney ticket for the day?
So that's a really important question. Yep, that's a really important question. If you're going to go to one of the special ticketed events, you do not need a separate park
Okay.
ticket for that day, and you do not need a park reservation.
Ooh.
So, yeah, those are very cool things. If you haven't been to Disney recently and you're just wanting to go for the day, you need a park ticket and a reservation. So, if you go to a special ticketed event, you don't need those two things. You just buy the special ticketed event. So,
I think I'm gonna take the kids. Well, my daughter
yeah.
plus my niece. I think that'll be fun for them.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I mean, the Halloween event, you get to trick or treat through the park. You get, and this is the 50th anniversary, so you get a special little graphic to commemorate. You get a special bag, a little trick or treat tote. You get special character interactions. You get a special stage show. You get treats, special exclusive merch. All it's like we're
I like
picking our
that.
date.
I like that. Have you
So
set
yeah.
pricing yet for adults and kids?
Yeah, it's anywhere from the $90 range to $100 range. It does differ depending on the closer you get to Halloween,
Uh-huh.
the price goes up. So
Okay.
it depends. And if you are a Florida resident, there is a Florida resident discount.
Ooh,
So
okay.
yeah.
Wait, so is it 90 for adults and kids, or just is that the adult price? 90 to 100 for
I
adults
think
and kids?
it's just one standard
Okay.
price.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
So,
you. All
but
right.
it's in that range.
All right. You got any latest travels? What you been doing lately?
Latest travels. I went on a Disney cruise this summer as
How was
well.
it?
Oh my gosh. It's amazing. And, the thing is, as much as one important thing to know about Disney Cruise Line is that they want us to remind people that if you rescheduled a Disney cruise during the pandemic, your future cruise credit expires September 30th. So you need to get those booked.
Yep.
Um, but I talk to people who ask, what's the Disney difference with Disney Cruise
Mm,
Line?
there's a
And
difference.
I like to talk about 5 things that are typically different about a Disney cruise. There are more, but the 5 major ones are: there are no drink packages. Drinking on a Disney cruise is not a focus.
Mhm.
A drinking party cruise, a Disney cruise is not. However, they do have drinks of the day, which sometimes you can get a drink for $5.
Mm,
So,
not bad.
so their drinks tend to be less than a cruise line like Royal Caribbean that might be trying to encourage you to buy a drink package.
Yep.
So then they do not have a casino. So if going to the casino is part of your cruise experience, Disney Cruise Line is probably not the one for you. um, Disney Cruise Line cabins tend to be larger than other cruise lines.
Mhm.
And so that is really nice. I mean, we were in a a deluxe family veranda room this summer that slept 5, and we only
Wow.
needed one to sleep 4, but it was really nice to have that extra space because
Right.
my 15-year-old is bigger than most adults. She's very tall. She's like 5'10", and so that was nice. And then also Disney Cruise Line has split bathrooms.
Yes,
So you can have someone getting ready in the bathroom that has a shower and a sink,
I
and
like
then
that.
somebody else can be getting ready with a toilet and a sink. So it is super convenient.
Yes.
And let's see, how many is that? They're bigger. They're no casino, no drink packages, split
You
bathrooms.
want to tell them about the tubs? Most families are looking for tubs.
Yeah, they do have tubs. So that is really nice. And in the deluxe family veranda room we had, it was huge. It was like super nice. So I was like, this is great. Um, but yeah, and then we talked about the no drink packages. So those are like the things I like to talk about. But I have been on other cruise lines and they're great, especially if you want you don't know
Party.
if you're gonna like cruises, or
Mhm.
yeah, or if you want a party. However, Disney Cruise Line has a lot of adults that just go on without kids. And it's really important to know that those 18 and over places are
Yes,
empty.
Disney shuts down early, way earlier than other
Yeah,
cruises.
it does, but if you want space and you're 18 and over, Disney Cruise Line is the place to go. And
Yes.
they have exclusive adult only restaurants and things like that. So if you're an adult looking at a Disney cruise, you're definitely still going to have a great time. They
Mhm.
do cater to adults only as well as kids. But nobody does kids clubs like Disney. They
Yes.
just, I mean, they're just incredible.
And then Castaway Cay, that's for adults too. It's not just necessarily
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do have an adults only beach. They do have an adults only dining area. Um, you could also rent a cabana if you're fortunate enough to get on, be one of the first people to reserve them. So because they just go so quickly.
like
Um,
everything at Disney.
yeah. But this summer, Disney Cruise Line launched their first news cruise ship in a decade. So the Disney Wish, I hope to get on it before too long. But that is really exciting. And that is really important to have a travel agent help you with that reservation, because there are so many new considerations if you have sailed on Disney before that are different
Mhm.
with the Disney Wish. So and then there are 2 more ships coming. that are just like the Disney Wish. So it's yeah, I mean,
I can't
it's
wait for
just
them to start doing site inspections. I want to see my baby checking out
no.
portal like every week, trying to find
Yes.
the site and the
Yes.
inspections, and they're not there yet. But hopefully they're
You and
coming.
me both.
Hopefully they're coming. And what
Yes.
about the new port in New York?
Yes. Yes.
A
So
lot
that
of
is
people.
really incredible.
Yes, yes.
And I mean, if you want to talk about cruising as a whole, MSC is really coming into, and I'm looking to go on an MSC cruise. I hopefully at some point
Before
soon
October
because
31st. Did you see the post? Did you see the email?
I haven't seen it
Oh, we
yet. What
gotta
did it
talk about this.
say? Okay.
We gotta talk about the
What?
email.
I
But they
mean,
want us to
they
come.
oh, they do? Oh, I
Uh-huh.
saw like an invitation to like the new
Uh-uh.
christening of the new ship or whatever.
Nope. Honey, they're looking for us.
Oh, really?
Yes, they are.
Oh, oh,
Before
okay.
October the 31st.
Well, it's really exciting because they're going to have a Lego area on their ships. They are really looking
I
to
love
get
it.
families. So, I mean, for somebody who books a lot of family trips, I know there are people that are so loyal to Lego
Yes. Yep.
that they love anything that is associated with Lego. So, I think that that's really going to be a new competitor for Disney Cruise Line. Um,
Yeah. Yep. No,
so,
you see MSCs as, one of the, foreign, they,
right.
they're
Yeah,
more
they're an
foreign to most
Italian
of us.
cruise
Yeah.
line.
But
Yeah,
I
so
can't wait. Listen, I haven't
I
been on
know.
MSC, but soon. Soon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, the prices are so attractive. It's like,
Yep.
why not? Why not try it?
Yep.
So, and then they have a special concierge level that they say just makes it really incredible. So,
We got to talk about this.
okay.
Maybe we can meet up on the same boat.
Woo. Okay.
So yeah. But yes, yes. Okay. So cruising, cruising, cruising. Everything changed. Where do you want to go next?
Where do I wanna go next? I know I'm going to Alaska next summer. I just
Oh
don't
my
know the date yet. Yeah, for sure. We've canceled it a couple times because of the pandemic,
God. Mm-hmm.
because y we would embark out of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was just didn't work out with our time frame, and then the requirement to get back in the country, we just didn't have the time to do that. So hopefully things will stay good so we can do that.
Hopefully,
And
hopefully.
we're looking at going to Chicago in the fall. I lived in Chicago for a long time. I haven't been back in a while. My family hasn't been, so we're probably going to do that this fall. And then so yeah, just see what comes up. But I was in Grand Cayman this summer, which
How was
was really cool.
it?
It was fun. But we that was my first tendered excursion from a cruise. So that was wow.
It didn't take that
Definitely
long,
you
did
have to
it?
make some special considerations. It took you have to at least block in about an hour
Yeah.
to the port and back.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think a lot of people seemed unprepared for that.
Really?
Yes, they really did, and they seemed unprepared for, like, the heat and being in a foreign country where there isn't air
Really?
conditioning everywhere. Yeah,
Did you
so
go on the tour and everybody was complaining or something?
somewhat, yeah, yeah.
Well, tendered, getting off the boat and having to be shipped to, the island,
Yeah.
something else, but I think most of the part is like, the coral reef. The boat is way too big.
Oh,
It hits, it will mess up the reefs and stuff
yeah.
that are there. And, same thing in Half Moon Cay and a lot of different
Mhm.
places that these boats dock into. But yeah, it does take about 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back, sometimes 20
Yeah.
minutes, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's so funny.
That was interesting to see everybody just panicking but yeah, when you're in a foreign country, don't expect the conveniences and everything
Yes.
else that you get here in the US.
Absolutely. That's one thing that I put on when I'm promoting a group trip, they have to answer certain questions. And so
Mm.
I usually put, we're in a foreign country, you may not get the luxuries that you're used to, in
Yeah.
the States. Like if you're a vegan or you have some
Mhm.
special dietary needs, sometimes they can't accommodate those,
Right.
so expect certain stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I guess you got to do your research too, or have a travel agent like us that's going to tell you,
I know.
about all of these things before you get
Yes.
there.
Yes, because I definitely prepare my clients. I'm like, look, you have to take special considerations when you plan anything, but excursions on cruises are really important to think about. What's your mobility like? What is
Mhm.
the age group of everybody there? Are they going to be interested in it? You're going to probably have to wait for a bus or
Yeah.
two, or, take into consideration how long the excursion is. They'll tell you.
Yep.
And bring a water bottle,
Yeah.
bring snacks.
Or
It's
bring your credit card. One of them.
right, exactly. Bring your little card that they give you on the cruise,
Yes,
like
your
your
sailor sign
ID. Like
card.
take a I heard this horrible story this summer about this couple who was on a Carnival cruise and took a scooter excursion, and
They got left.
there was a horrible injury, and their kids, they had to go to the hospital, needed immediate treatment, and their kids didn't have passports. So
Birth certificate.
they left the ship and they were in Mexico without their passports, so they had to pay all these additional fees. Plus in Mexico, I've had clients have medical issues in Mexico. They want payment in cash.
That's what travel insurance is
Right.
for.
You have to make sure that you get travel insurance that will not guarantee payment, but wire payment in advance.
Yep.
So that's what they want in foreign countries. And if you don't have that, they will demand cash for treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
for this family, it was in excess of $60,000
Oh my
between all
God.
of the fees. Yes. So then they had to be airlifted and evacuated from the country. And because they didn't have their passports, they were not allowed on commercial airlines. So they had to take a government plane that had no doctors, no air conditioning. Nightmare. I mean, all the things that could happen
Oh,
happened. So, yeah.
wow. That's crazy. Did they have travel insurance? That's the question I want to know.
No.
Wow. That's
Yep.
all I can say. We push travel insurance, push travel insurance, push travel insurance,
Eh,
and
And people act like it's like a gimmick and we're just trying to
uh-huh.
do an add-on.
Uh-huh.
No, like, look, I mean, I had a trip for a client that needed to reschedule this week and they forgot that they got the trip insurance. They were so elated that they got the trip insurance to cover a trip that was over 2 grand. you know, they just had to reschedule. And
Mm-hmm.
so within a few clicks, they were able to initiate a claim and get everything started. So um
And a lot of times it doesn't even cost that much. A 2 grand trip is, dependent. It's really dependent on the state that you live in, the cost of the trip, and your
the age.
age. That's
Mhm.
it. Sometimes
That's
you
it.
may get insurance for like what, $50, $60 per person. Or if
Right.
you have a specific travel insurance supplier, kids under
Mhm.
18 are free.
Mhm.
So it's travel insurance is so so important. I feel so bad for that family, but I wonder did they book it on, their own? And even if they did book the
They
carnival
probably
protection,
did.
even if they booked the carnival protection, that's for before the trip. It's not for during the trip.
Right. And here's the thing too is that they claimed when they went to go get on the scooters they looked unsafe. So listen, if you go on an excursion, the cruise lines do their best to
Mhm.
make sure that it's a quality experience, but
Yeah,
they cannot be there all the time.
yeah.
If it's something that looks unsafe or makes you feel unsafe or you're not okay with, just don't do it. It's
Yeah.
not worth it. Even if you don't get a refund, it's
Mhm.
better than the situation that this couple found themselves in. I mean, one of their children had to get back on the ship and leave their parents in a foreign country.
Who
I
was on
mean,
the ship?
um, all of their things, I guess. And then
They didn't have
another
family
one,
on the ship?
it happened, yeah, they so it was a couple and their 2 older children.
Okay.
So, one of the children stayed with them and one got back on the ship and continued the trip to have all of their things and get all of that together, but, I mean, what a nightmare.
That sounds like a complete nightmare, but travel insurance, Lord have
Yes.
mercy. Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
But on
Yeah,
something,
but
let's talk about something positive. What about
I
the
know.
airline updates? I am so
Really.
excited that we do not have the COVID test to get back home.
I know. How amazing is that?
It's,
But it caused a huge travel, like,
yes, it did.
craziness in Europe this summer, which you
London,
experienced, right?
it did. You know,
Did you
but
ever get your bags back?
I did. I got all my bags back. I got
Oh,
everything back.
nice.
But
Okay.
it happened when we're in London. Some people were, sending me emails and messages. I hope you're
Mhm.
okay. I'm like, what are you talking about? One of our flights, it didn't get canceled, but it was like delayed by like 2 or 3 hours. But and we're in London and it was like a 7, 8 hour layover. I'm like, I'm about to get out of this airport, go see
Yeah.
London. And then I started searching, most things are like an hour away from the airport. And then
Yeah.
I was asking the staff, how's the line outside? And they're like, no, don't go outside. One person showed me the picture of the line. It was literally wrapped around the airport. I'm just like, oh my gosh. It was wrapped around the airport, Angela.
Oh
And
my
I'm just like,
gosh.
I'm not going outside. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't even devastated. I'm like, we just gonna have to come back to London and do some other stuff in London, but not on this layover. It was horrible. The
Yes.
waits. And so we just stayed there
Yeah.
in the airport. Stayed there in the airport, ate lunch,
Yeah.
ate, almost dinner and just got back home. But I wasn't too affected by it, but I saw it. The lines were
Mhm.
ridiculous.
Oh,
I
yeah.
came in, I was leaving the mess as it was starting, so as all of the craziness was
Oh,
starting in Europe, I was like flying home. But
that's good.
on our first leg of the trip, they kept our bags in Rome. And I finally figured out what it was. In my safety kit, I like to carry, door jammers and
Mhm.
alarms for my door. And they said that there was an alarm going off in the bag. So my bag didn't get lost. They held my bag for security. So I'm like, are you kidding me? So I eventually got my bag. I was going
Yeah.
through Newark. And so
Uh-huh.
I didn't get my bag in Newark. I got my bag like what 6 days later. And so my bag almost didn't make it for my second leg of my adventure. We
What?
did
Oh my
57
gosh.
days out there and my I literally had to buy everything. I had to buy everything all over again because I'm like, this bag ain't gonna be here. And we have to go with so much important things
Right.
in that bag. And
Mhm.
I'm just like, oh my gosh, I had travel insurance and, they still say, it could take, up to 30 days to, resolve the whole claim. I'm like, I can't wait that long. I can't wait that long. I got to
Yeah.
start buying stuff. And of course, even if I bought the stuff, travel insurance would have covered the stuff that I bought because, the
Mhm.
airline still had my bag, but
Mhm.
it was, yeah, I could see it as I was leaving
Yeah.
out of Europe. I
Yeah.
could see how everything was starting to build up. But I love the fact that we don't have to test to come back in.
Oh.
I believe everybody else that are not citizens of the US, they do have to test to come in, but I love that. I can come back home,
Mhm.
real fast and you have to not have to get a COVID test within 24 hours. It's
Oh
like,
my gosh.
how is
I
that even
mean,
possible? Like I did it a few times, but it was a mess trying to get it done within 24 hours.
right. Right.
Then what if
And
it got
then
lost? Oh my God.
right. And then what about flight? Like you had to reschedule your flight or
Yes.
whatever. I mean,
What
it was just
Yeah. What if they lost the test? Or what if they couldn't complete the test? Like whenever I'm leaving out of the state, going to a foreign country, I usually get my COVID test done at two separate places because I've had it where they literally lost my test. I'm like, how do you lose the test? How do you lose a nasal swab? Like, I'm just like, this is it. So, but thankfully I had got my
yeah.
other one done and that it came in handy. So I mean, I probably will be. I probably am paying a little bit more, but nothing. My plans are not totally messed up. But
Oh, yeah. I can't imagine. And I had clients that were stuck in Mexico because of the testing issue
oh my god,
over Christmas. They missed their holiday. I know there
they
were
missed the
people
holiday. How? Oh, because they couldn't get the
that
test coming.
tested positive.
No.
Yeah.
What did they have? I know they had insurance, so they're going. Even
Yeah, they did, but still, I
it was
mean,
Christmas.
it was Christmas. They wanted to be with their family and never
Mm,
considered.
that sucks.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it's huge because that was just a really, you didn't know how to plan with that.
Yeah.
If you had to test, you really had to have an open schedule, which most,
Mm,
most of us do not have.
true. Very,
so,
very true.
so yeah, I mean, it's going to be great going forward, but I can't stress enough getting a direct flight as often as
Oh my
possible.
gosh. Yes.
I mean, our flights were delayed in LA this summer, and had we not had a direct flight, and get those early flights, I'm going to do a post coming up about what airports had the worst delays this
Yes.
summer and what days of the week have the worst delays
That's super.
and what time of day has worse delays. Like, book that flight early in the morning, so if
Yes.
there is a delay or a cancellation, you have some options possibly.
Yes,
Don't.
yes. You know what's another thing that's probably important too? The time of the layovers. If it's for
Yeah.
me or for my client, if I see a layover that's 45 minutes, I'm like, no, I need a layover that's like 2-3 hours long. And I try to tell my
Right.
clients, listen, I know this layover may seem like it's long, 2-3 hours and some change.
Mhm.
But if
Mhm.
one of your flight, if that flight that your first flight is delayed, you'll be safe.
Mhm.
And I've had that happen on a few different ones. You're safe.
Not only that, but if there are some travel insurances, if it's less than 2 hours, they will not cover you missing that flight. So
Wow. Yep. Some of them will. Yep.
it's like you really have to pay attention to that. And I've even called, like, I was trying to find some flights for a client in American. I don't know why they have this, but they have some really tight
Mhm.
layovers.
Girl, 45
And
minutes. I've seen
I
it.
know it,
Like,
like,
why would you do
Newark,
that?
like in Newark. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You've been there, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is not this is not happening. That
Yep.
airport is under
You
construction.
got to
It's
go from B all the way, catch cab or
yeah.
take the shuttle, load
Right?
all your luggage onto the shuttle. That's not
Get an Uber.
happening. Yes. And the Uber was like $50, $60. I'm just like, this is ridiculous. I'll catch the
Yeah.
shuttle. I just walked. I walked from what I think it was a B, either B or G, all the
Yeah.
way to the other one. I'm just like, this is this. Oh, that was I think that
Yeah.
was LA. But this it's ridiculous.
LA is another one. Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. But
Yep.
oh my goodness.
You got any more
It's
updates, Angela?
I mean, I think that those are like the big ones with the
Yep.
flights and the cruises. I mean, it's just everything is constantly changing.
It is
It
very
really is. And I mean, it's our job to stay on top of it.
true.
So,
Listen, if I don't got the updates, I know you got the updates. You should see our emails is so full every
right?
day.
Oh
Every
my
day we get.
gosh.
So I can't even count how many emails
If
we get.
people, oh yeah, if people could see the number of emails we get from suppliers, it's crazy.
Yep, it is.
Like,
It is.
come see this new thing and that new
Yes.
thing, because that's just it too, is like so many new things are coming because there was like this period of time where people couldn't release new things or whatever. So I feel like there's a new cruise ship and a new
A new
hotel
something
and a
all the
new
time.
I
Yep.
know, like,
Yep.
okay.
But
But yeah.
nope. So okay. If we don't have any more updates for them, listen, it's always amazing to have you on my podcast. It's always
I know. I always
fun.
love talking to you.
I love talking to you too. But no more updates. Listen, thank you so much for being on our podcast,
Yeah,
helping us with these updates for our clients.
anytime.
Dearest Travelista, tell my listeners where can they find you?
You can find me at Beautiful Tomorrow Travel and beautifultomorrowtravel.com. And yeah, we do all things Disney, Universal, and cruises.
I love it. And you guys already know where to find us at. Until our
Yeah.
very next podcast. Bye, Travelista. Bye.
Bye.